The people of France were unhappy. They had just been hit by the worst winter, destroying their entire crop. Bread prices were at an all-time high. And, to top it all, King Louis was planning on increasing taxes. Louis had almost bankrupted France with a 3 million livres debt. He was planning to increase taxes to offset this. But to do this, he needed to first get permission from all the 3 estates. So he decided to convene the Estates General. No monarch had done this during the previous 150 years, the last time actually being in 1614, which ended in a failure. The Estates General was convened on the 5th of May 1789 at Versailles. It consisted of representatives from all the 3 estates. "300 members from the first estate or the clergy attended, the same number of people from the second estate or nobles attended. In contrast, the third estate was represented by 600 people. The prosperous and educated members of the third estate were allowed to stand at the back. The rest of the third estate was not even allowed admission to the proceedings. They, however, were allowed to send in their grievances as letters. There were 40,000 letters of grievances. King Louis wanted the old style of voting, where each estate had just 1 vote, which meant that as the third estate had only 1 vote, any resolution could be passed easily, as both the clergy and nobles would support him. The third estate was against this. They were inspired by the philosophy put forth by Rousseau in his book, The Social Contract, and stated that the entire assembly needed to vote, with each member casting 1 vote. King Louis refused. The members of the third estate were enraged and walked out of the meeting. They gathered in an indoor tennis court on the 20th of June, 1789, in Versailles, and declared the birth of the National Assembly. They swore not to leave until a constitution was drafted. Their key leaders were Mirabeau and Abbé Sieyès. The oath was administered by Bailly. Another prominent member was Robespierre, who rose to prominence during the later stages of the revolution. While the constitution was being drafted, the people of France were still suffering. The price of bread had skyrocketed, and bread riots were common. Bakeries were being looted. King Louis was worried. To contain the revolt, he mobilized his troops to move to Paris. The revolt finally took a violent turn when, on 14 July 1789, a crowd of 7,000 people stormed the Bastille, a prison that stood for everything that they hated. The governor and all the guards of the Bastille were massacred. The people demolished the Bastille by hand, and the bricks were sold to be kept as a memento of the revolution. Seeing all this, Louis suddenly feared the power and resolve of the people, and on August 4, 1789, he finally recognized the National Assembly and agreed to abide by their framework. The National Assembly abolished the feudal system of taxes, tithes, and the special privileges that were enjoyed by the clergy and nobles by birth. In doing this, over 2 million livres were recovered. The prices of bread dropped, and the people of France were happy again.